Saludos a toda la afición de la lucha libre. Este que les habla es Michael Morales Torres, integrante del equipo de lucha libre online. Y tenemos el enorme privilegio de presentarles a nuestra invitada en la tarde de hoy de Houston, Texas para el mundo, pero representando a toda la comunidad latina y a su México querido. Ella es, excuse me, Vickie Guerrero from AEW. Ma'am, it is a huge honor to have you as our guest. How are you doing today?
I have to correct you with one thing. It's excuse me!
Jesus.
That's how you do it.
And now I'm deaf.
Oh. How are you?
Everything's good here in Puerto Rico. Ma'am, it's a huge honor to have you here as our guest. You've been in this industry for a while. You're a wise person. And we want to talk about a few things. But the first one is Nyla Rose. You ally yourself with a native beast in AEW. She's been unstoppable so far with you on her corner. How's been the experience of working first as a manager on AEW with Nyla Rose?
Sure. Michael, thank you first for letting me be on your show. I am so honored to be here. My experience being with AEW has been amazing. And every day I feel like I'm not even going to work. It's just, I'm going to play with these incredible talent that's on the roster. And Nyla Rose is just, she's amazing. And the first time that I met her, I just loved her attitude. I loved her, her energy and just how she wanted to collaborate and just get involved with the storylines. I was so happy to team up with her, and we're having a great time backstage and even in front of the camera. I mean, I can't complain, and there's more things to come from us, from the Vicious Vixens.
She's amazing, and you guys work perfectly together at this point. For us, it is an honor to have you as our guest, as we mentioned before. So let's talk about AEW finally arriving to Latin America. They are available now on Space TV in Chile, Argentina, Ecuador, Colombia, Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, basically every single place, also in Brazil. Brazil, they are available on Saturdays at 11 p.m. And then the rest of Latin America is at 12 or 1:30, depending on the country's time zone. What does it feel for Vickie Guerrero as a Latin American woman to have the opportunity to expose her talent as well as her fellow Latin partners like Pentagon, like Phoenix, like Ibelis Vélez, like Diamante, among many, many others, Tainara Conti, among many others, Latin American wrestlers? How does it feel to finally make your debut in Latin America as everyone expected?
Well, you know, at first, to be part of this community, I'm very proud of my heritage. You know, when I was married to Eddie, I got to learn the love of wrestling living in Mexico City with Eddie when he was training to be a wrestler. And so the culture and the love of the people from all of, you know, South America and all through where Space TV is being broadcasted, it's an honor to be on there because I'm not only representing the Latin community, but the women, the Latinas who are just, it's like they're becoming noticed, and they're having this voice now that they're able to do things that they've never done before. And so to be a role model for little girls and for women around the world, I'm showing them that it's not about the age. It's not about, you know, what you want to do. As long as you have it in your heart and you have your faith and the encouragement, anything is possible. And so to be part of this community and to be a role model, I'm very grateful to God and to be empowered that I have a voice of a platform that I can spread my energy and empowerment to others.
Amazing. Vickie, you mentioned something very important. You were married to possibly the biggest Latin American star in the history of pro wrestling, Eddie Guerrero. There have been many stories told about Eddie. I've spoken recently with Chavo, Kurt Angle, among many others, that spoke extremely positive about Eddie inside the pro wrestling industry. But you were married to Eduardo Gori Guerrero, the human being, the person, the person that easily gets mad, that's passionate about life, that was a father, that was a husband. How was living with Eduardo Gori Guerrero, the human being, during 15 years?
Gosh, how long do you have to talk? Let's see.
As much as you want, ma'am.
You know, being married to Eddie, of course, I saw another side to him. And the fans got to know him as this wonderful entertainer for the crowds, and he loved performing for the fans. But being at home with him, he was still a perfectionist. He still cared so much about work, even though he was home with me and the kids. Uh, and he's very quiet and kind of isolated from the world because he just wanted to come home and just kind of have his downtime. But Eddie was a prankster. He loved to eat junk food on his cheat days. He was a very loving man and a great father and a son. And so, for all these qualities, I'm writing my autobiography, and I have a lot to say about Eddie that no one got to hear my side of, living with Eddie. And through his demons and struggles, he just reinvented himself from learning how to conquer those demons. And he was the old Eddie that I got to know from 15 years ago. So I got to see the Eddie I dated, married to him, struggling through demons, and then reinventing himself, being clean and sober. It was like this whole circle of life. And when he passed away, it wasn't fair because Eddie was one of the few that wanted to work on his life and make things right and make amends to people that he had hurt. And so his story is going to last forever. And the people that love him and are influenced by him, I carry that in my heart every day because he has quite the story and the love of this industry. And so that's something I'm very proud to talk about. And his friends that talk about Eddie are just, they're incredible family to me. And so any story that I hear or funny thing, it's meant a lot to me and the girls.
And you mentioned the girls as part of that long relationship with Eduardo Gori Guerrero. There are kids, but one specifically, Shaul Guerrero, who wrestled for a while, then retired. Then suddenly this year she decided to make her comeback into the square circle. We saw her announcing on AEW also. What's been going with Shaul, your daughter, recently? Is there any opportunity to see her getting the spotlight on either AEW Dark or AEW Dynamite in the future?
In this wrestling industry, you never say no to it. Her first important priority that she's doing is training. She got to be trained by Dustin Rhodes when she was appearing for AEW appearances. And then she's in Chicago, so she's training there. So the important thing is being gone for 6 years of not wrestling. She wanted to get back to the basics and kind of get the ring rust out of her. But, when Shaw performs, she looks exactly like Eddie. I mean, the smirk, her walk, her charisma identifies who Eddie was when he was in the ring. And she's really trying to invent herself to be her own person, not to be like Eddie, but to represent the family. And so I'm really proud of her. I get very nervous when I see her in the ring because she's my kid. Even though she's 30, she's always my little girl. But yeah, she's excited about wrestling. She's always loved it. I think when she left WWE, it put a dark side to how she saw the wrestling industry. And I think it just took time for her to step back and get to know herself and figure out what she wanted to do. And now she's back in the squared circle. So I'm excited to see where she's going to go. And I'm always going to be proud of her, whatever she does. But to see that Eddie smirk when I see her in the ring, it touches my heart.
It touches everyone's heart. She's married to Matt Riewoldt, incredible wrestler also. Both of them really talented, so let's hope to see them getting the spotlight in the company that chooses them. Let's hope that happens soon. So I want to say something in Spanish to our Spanish-speaking audience, even though this is going to have closed captions at one point. Vickie Guerrero tiene su mercancía disponible, tiene desde camisas, tiene fotos autografiadas, videos saludando a su familia, a su mamá, a sus papás. Si simplemente quieren que Vickie Guerrero le grite su famoso excuse me a alguien, tienen que ir a VickieGuerrero.net, VickieGuerrero.net para cualquier tipo de mercancía. En adición a ello, ya está disponible en el formato de podcast. Tiene su podcast que es Excuse Me Podcast con Vickie Guerrero. Está disponible tanto en Apple Podcasts como en Google Podcasts. Excelentes conversaciones, excelente calidad y altamente recomendado para todos ustedes. Denle la oportunidad a un excelente producto como lo es Excuse Me Podcast. Además de esto, Vickie también está disponible en Facebook, en Twitter y en Instagram. Aparece como Vickie Guerrero en todas ellas. Pero, muy importante, recientemente hizo su debut en Twitch, como en twitch.tv/excuse-me-VG. Vickie, how did Vickie Guerrero ended in Twitch screaming and yelling to everyone?
Oh, I just want to say exactly what Michael said. It's perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm staying busy. I mean, Twitch has been really fun to be on. It's not work. It's just having fun with the fans. But Yeah, I'm loving all the projects I'm in. So if the fans can reach out to me, and there's a lot of places to find me, I'm very honored whenever they reach out and they join whatever platform I'm doing.
Amazing, Vickie. Also, the podcast you've been doing great. Recently, we've heard a few of your interviews. They are, yes, they're wrestling focused, but most of them are human focused because many people know about the wrestling side of the story, but not the person behind the gimmick. How did Vickie Guerrero ended up working in podcast format, and you've been enjoying it so far?
I think podcast is perfect because I love to talk. So, and also I like to research people. So to have a guest on my show, even though they're their own celebrity, it's my chance to give that hour to them and highlight them as a superstar. But I wanted to expand my show not only for wrestling, but for actors and comedians and musicians and politicians. I love the whole variety of entertainment. It was presented to me by Jerry Strauss, and he was kind of my producer. And then he had to step away because he got another job. So I've been taking it over by myself, and it's a lot of work, as you know, Michael. To get the guests and try and coordinate with schedules. But I love it. I mean, I love the countries I reach and the fans that send me feedback, and it's getting a great response. I would love to be on a bigger platform for my podcast, but we'll see. Baby steps.
Everything goes in the correct pathway. Right now, you're working with a company that allows you and gives you the opportunity to work in this external project. There's been a lot of controversy that we're not going to talk about because that's on another side of the fence. But let's
Oh,
talk.
come on.
No, but for real, how's been the creative part of AEW? Been doing such an amazing work in your manager role, in promos. When you announced that you were gonna be Nyla Rose's, well, basically Nyla was the one who announced it. You were gonna be the manager. Everyone was shocked. I mean, in Puerto Rico, if you saw Twitter for a moment, everyone was, why the heck Vickie Guerrero? And when everyone saw the mic piece behind the native beast, everyone understood, oh, that's why. So how's been the creative process so far while working with AEW, Vickie?
It's been fantastic. From the other side of working with WWE, you were given a script, you were given what to do, and there were pretty much no questions asked of what you were going to do with your character. Coming into AEW, a lot of my friends said, "Oh, the creative aspect is, for the superstar to decide," and I was like, okay, but I didn't really believe it until I actually was involved, being a part of the show, and I got signed. My first promo, Tony Khan and Kenny Omega were like, "Well, you do the promo. You're Vickie Guerrero," and I was like, "Oh my God! Like this is true. Like we can do our own creativity." And I love it because there's no stress. I care about what my character is going to say, so it means more to me when I can find my own words and relate that to the TV crowd and the audience that we have when we're on the show. I love it because Tony Khan is not only wants us to have fun, but he believes in our characters. And so when we're happy involving our character with whoever we're working with, it just comes out a whole different way. And so I love when they say you have a promo because that's my time to highlight what Vickie Guerrero is going to say or do. And so far, it's been a lot of fun. And they haven't been disappointed yet, and there's been great feedback, with me being Nyla's manager, and I love everything that she stands for, and so I know there's going to be a day that I'm going to piss her off, and she's going to come at me, and, there's always a payoff to having a client, that, Michael, but I think at that same time, we're going to have a great time entertaining the fans, and she'll get her receipt.
That's how the wrestling industry works, Vickie. Let's talk about many heels work for decades getting that heat. They use long promos, they do everything, they burn cars, they burn shirts, they step on flags. Vickie Guerrero with two words that we use daily, on a daily basis. Even if we're going to interrupt someone, Vickie Guerrero with only two words can become the most hated person in an arena full of thousands of people. Who invented excuse me, this catchphrase you have, and what does it mean to Vickie Guerrero?
Well, the catchphrase came by surprise, and it was my own creation by surprise because the story was I was getting ready to go do a promo on live TV for WWE, and my promo got changed about 4 or 5 times, 30 minutes before we went live. So I was in the wheelchair. Teddy Long was pushing me, and he kept seeing these scripts come at me, and they were just totally different scripts. Every time they come in, I would try and memorize it, and say, oh, no, we're going to change it. Here's another one. So by the time script number 4 or 5 comes around, I'm like looking overwhelmed. I probably look like a deer in headlights. And Teddy Long goes, you're going to screw this up, playa, aren't you? And I was like, Teddy, I think tonight's the night I'm going to screw it up, and he was laughing, but he knew too that I was very overwhelmed, and I'm human. And so when I went out to the stage and he pushed me on the wheelchair, I went out there and I'm like, I just didn't even know where to start. And I didn't even know which promo to grab, or I was lost. And so the crowd is very smart. The fans, you have to give them credit because they know exactly what's going on in just my face expression. And I forgot, and they started saying things like, you need to go home, you don't know what you're doing, get off the stage, you forgot your lines. And I just yelled, excuse me. Well, okay, not like that. I went, excuse me! And they kind of roared back at me. And I said it again, and then I didn't think anything of it. And then the next week, the writers were like, hey, let's try that excuse me again. And little by little, the fans were expecting it every time I would come out for my promo or whatever I had to say. And by the grace of God, it's been great for me because to this day, we're in 2020. I retired in 2014 from WWE, and now I trademarked it, and I'm using it on merchandise in my podcast and my Twitch. So I took advantage of it, and it's done very well for me. So I'm really happy about that.
It works perfectly. So to all our fans in Spanish, shop AEW.com o shop AEW.com para cualquier tipo de mercancía. AEW Dark los martes a las 7 de la noche hora del este por el canal de YouTube de AEW. AEW Dynamite a las 8 de la noche hora del este por Fight TV y también por TNT todos los miércoles. Y ahora también a través de Space TV a las 12 del mediodía o 1:30 de la tarde dependiendo de su país los domingos por Space TV, AEW Dynamite. Y en Brasil a las 11 de la noche los sábados pueden ver AEW Dynamite de igual manera. Vickie, last but not least, what message can you send to all the Latin American fans out there that are willing or that are interested in making this industry go from a dream to a profession, to a business, but they don't know where to start, they don't know how to do it. There are multiple roles, but they are like Vickie Guerrero on that promo, a deer in headlights. They don't know where to go. What message can you send to them to keep chasing their dreams and so they will achieve it like Vickie Guerrero did?
I think opportunity comes when you believe in yourself, when you can find your faith and have the inner peace within you to know that wherever you're going to do each day, you be happy with it and you're going to believe in it. And to find a good school wherever you live, to have a school that's going to teach you promos and camera work and in-ring training and just give you all the elements it is to develop your character to be ready for a tryout or audition. I didn't have that, but I think just by watching Eddie for so many years, it kind of stuck to me, and I never knew what was going on, being married to him for over 20 years. But believe in yourself, and it's not about age. It's not about how you look, how about your body type. It's not about where you come from. It's about believing in yourself, and I think that's really important for someone to start with anything you want to do in life.
Words of wisdom from a person that's made it and made it big in this industry. She can be the most hated person, but she can be a lovely role model to all the Latin American women in the world. Vickie, thank you so much for the opportunity and for your time. We wish you the best of lucks in your podcast, in Twitch, playing Among Us, in all your social media and your projects, but especially on AEW. Let's hope never see Nyla Rose put her hands on you, because that won't end well. That will not end well.
Thank you, Michael, and I love your shirt too. I see Guerrero on it.
Yes. This is the Guerrero shirt. Yeah, I forgot to plug that in. That's Chavo's authority. It's Pro Wrestling Tees / Chavo Guerrero. So yeah, to everyone love the Guerrero shirt, you can get it there. Thank you so much, Vickie.
Thank you, Michael. God bless you. Thank you for letting me be on today.